Hello, YouTube. This is Ben Gessel. I don't know if this person that's coming tonight, I don't know if he'll be here. If he is, I have an early morning tomorrow. Hopefully, I can sleep. I'll mention this more later if you guys are curious about what I might be doing tomorrow morning. If you're curious. Anyway, so we're talking early tomorrow morning. At least for me. Oh my gosh. So basically, I wanted to mention a few. Again, there's so many things I want to talk about tonight. Maybe I just haven't talked about it for a while. Been thinking about other things. Maybe I don't know what. I'm going to try to get some more videos tonight. So I know I'm doing a little bit of red eye here. I should be fine. I think it's going away a little bit. So basically, in this video, I'm talking a little bit about something I've had a harder time putting my finger on, but it's something that's been a recurring kind of idea in my life. Where I've seen this kind of thing, something that's been okay. Ever since I've been probably in junior high, I've kind of been aware of this, and I'm sure I've talked about because I have like 40 different videos on food, cooking, and nutrition, and haven't done any cooking stuff yet, but this one is in there, and so I talked about fads in nutrition before a little bit. I know I talked about diets, at least once. And what I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about something larger. A larger thing that is maybe more just mostly having to do with the Anglo-American United States, to much lesser extent certain other areas outside the United States. This is kind of an American phenomenon, somewhat. What I'm about to mention, not just American. I suppose on some level it sometimes affects other places, but it has a lot to do with the media. What I'm talking about here is, I'll try to put my finger on it. It's a lot of different bases I'm trying to touch on this, but it has to do, if there's this train of thought, it has to do with health, right? But it has to do a little bit with this idea of what are you not eating or drinking that could help you be healthier. And so coupled with that is the advertisements that we see in the United States, not just on the TV, not just on YouTube, billboards, and when you go out and do stuff, you see people wearing T-shirts and with basically advertising certain products, and you go to the grocery store, you see it, and so talking about, I think, in media and advertisements regarding this idea that we're not quite eating what we should be eating, but more especially we're not getting the colors, right? The colors we need. But that color idea turning into something a little bit, I'll use the word manufactured, artificial, trendy, these words, cool. See if you can, I'm sorry, but bear with me here for a bit. You'll see where I'm going with this. You might be catching on to what I'm saying already. We'll just start with juice. We'll just start with imbibing water. Now, I am very much to blame in a certain respect regarding this subject. Did you guys ever notice, and I'm speaking mostly to Americans here, I realize that if you're in Latin America, Mexico, Africa, Southeast Asia, a lot of Southern Asia, some workplace. If you're in America, or possibly Europe, Western Europe, or maybe Mexico, I don't know. You have to guys have to tell me. But certainly also if you're in East Asia, if you're in Japan, any place where there's a lot of bottled or colorful juices that you can buy. Have you ever noticed, right? You know that water is by far sometimes, really it's the best thing to drink. Yes, it's other than, you also have herbal tea, and you have almond milk, really natural and low sugar and high protein for the milks, the healthier milks. Like I'm talking more about either grass-fed milk that's really healthy, but even milk itself is, yeah. But high protein, low sugar, uh, or drinks or water, right? And so then you can talk about the benefits of coconut water. I don't want to get into that. I hate coconut water. So okay, all right. It just tastes nasty, but all right. But the water is the best stuff to drink. Yeah, we all need water all the time. So then we have, of course, the smart waters and the Valclinic. That's actually something I like. And then advertisers can use the pretty colors or the reds to attract us, but really we know it's water with some there's electrolytes and calcium and other stuff that makes it more alkaline, which is really good for you to make it more alkaline. As I mentioned before in an earlier video, but you notice how the different vitamin water, all these companies, Glacier, right? I think they're European, and you have XXX vitamin water or something, and then you have the other, I don't know, some other types of vitamin waters. And I like the stevia stuff. It's sweet with stevia. That's why I buy it. I mean, like a lot of times it cuts down on your blood sugar spikes. We don't want I know we don't want those blood sugar spikes. Right? We like xylitol. We like stevia. Stevia and xylitol, right? And there's some other ones that are maybe even better. But stevia is probably the best, one of the best as far as the non-sugar sweetener things, right? But again, water's the best. But we see these brightly colored vitamin waters. We have the red, the dragon fruit, purple, pinkish red. We got the orange and the yellow, sure. And we got, I think the blue stuff's not that. It's like a different thing. Maybe like it's like Powerade or Gatorade, the blue raspberry stuff that's like sugary. But then you have, I know. You see these brightly colored drinks, and they're colored naturally, right? Naturally with natural vegetable and fruit colors, and that's the tip of the iceberg, right? I know this is gonna be a longer video. I'm sorry. So you start thinking, oh, you know what? I want sweet. You get that sweet stuff. Maybe sometimes you think, I want more sweet. But I want to get this. I'm remembering all these advertisements, remembering all these things. So you think, oh, I want. You get into the fruit juices, and we know fruit juice is healthy. We just know a ton of it isn't so great for you. But yeah, orange and cherry, strawberry. I love this. Believe me, I get this all the time. This is one of the things I look forward to. It's like my candy, right? If I can't have a lot of candy, but then I have to watch the juice, and especially soda. Soda's a carbonation, but there's all these different fruit flavors. You want to go 100% fruit. You gotta watch how much you have it sometimes. And they have, oh my gosh, I remember the Minute Maid blueberry pomegranate berry, this purple drink. It was so good. It was so good. It was just, oh my gosh. You drink one of those things in one sitting. I remember that. I was like, yeah. That stuff has a lot of sugar. But if you're not eating a whole lot, that's one thing that I've discovered, by the way. If you're not eating a whole lot of, if you're not taking in a whole lot of calories, if you just have like a few pieces of chicken and some nuts and something like that, maybe some cereal and some veggies, and you could down one of those, and you'll probably be okay as long as you don't make a daily habit of it. But there's a lot of calories in those big fruit things, right? You got, well, no, we're talking about now. Without even getting to the more manufactured stuff, we have Odwalla, right? We have Odwalla. We have what's one of the other big kind of smoothie, healthier 100% fruit juice things? I know what the names are, but these names, some of these names sound like, oh, tropical bird, or like Florida swampland, just like get in the forest and you pick the raw fruit and get the B vitamins and C, and you're like, yeah, like the wilderness. It's like some of these fruit juice company names sound exploration safari-ish, and I think that's totally fine. That's great. I love it. I wouldn't have it in their way. I'm kind of poking fun a little bit of it. And the one hand I'm poking fun, I'm also it's kind of a fun subject, But also, there's a side to this that's kind of a little bit like, well, it's advertising. So, I guess there's, okay, all right. I'm going to go on to some, what subjects I'm going to go on to here in just a bit. So then we have the vitamin, so we have the waters, which I think is fine. I don't know. We have the vitamin waters, which is, it's good too. They have stevia, some of them more sugary, but you probably shouldn't have as much of the sugary ones. And then you have the Gatorade and Powerade. I didn't mention that so much. There's the whole energy sport thing that I'm not touching on as much in this video because obviously we know that if you're killing yourself, it's okay to have some Gatorade. But if you're so sedentary, you probably shouldn't have Gatorade very much. Right? It's high sugar. So then we get into fruit juices, and we have the regular ones, and we have the smoothie ones that are supposedly healthier, but sometimes they have a lot of calories, right? But they have maybe, tell if something has more fiber if there's seeds in there, right? That's the thing about smoothies, when they actually have real strawberries, the seeds, and they're not. I like how you just drink something, right? You don't have to chew it up, but there's some things I guess I don't mind as much as others when it comes to that fiber stuff. But that fiber is one of the things that keeps real fruit healthier than juice, right? That way you don't have too much of it. So, fruit's supposed to be like something that helps your whole system, right? You can go to the bathroom easier without getting too much of it, right? Okay, so, all right. And the C and vitamin C and all that stuff. And potassium and folic acid and all these other things that we need in fruit. So we get all these bright colors, and believe me, those bright colors, they always, when I was a little boy, when I was a baby, when I was a toddler, and when I first went to the grocery store with my mom, I saw these colorful packages, and I was just like, and kind of, and I kind of point to it, I want that one, and mom would be like, opposite, no. I just kind of go, I just kind of, but then I was okay, I was probably 3 years old, and sometimes, my mom knew what my favorite foods, by the way, when I was a little guy. My favorite foods were orange juice, raisins, marshmallows, and juice, raisins, and marshmallows. But I think I could add to that Cheerios as well. I like Cheerios and milk. And there's some other foods I had, but I was very, very picky about things. But those are some of my favorites. But I liked, three of those four, well, at least the first three, juice, raisins, and marshmallows. They're all, sugar. So I had a sweet tooth when I was little. But I also like stuff that was smooth. And I had a hard time with the fibrous stuff. And I got okay with it better, when I got older, bit by bit. And I had a hard time with potatoes when I was 5, Even potatoes, something as simple as potatoes, mashed potatoes are even worse. I had a hard time with those different textures, and smooth meets crunchy, and, all that kind of stuff. I can tell you guys more about that stuff, and peanut butter. Oh, believe me, I hate it when you have a cookie that has pecans in there. Pecans in the chocolate chip cookie. And the cookie, okay, you get the idea, right? No crunchy with the smooth, right? I was that kind of guy. I was like very much, didn't like the different textures, and clashing textures in foods, right? It's very sensitive there. But, so you have these trendy advertising things. Now, we can get into the sodas, right? Believe me, I like soda. I just have to watch how much soda I drink. I really do. Or, when you have soda, you just need to watch your calories. Some of it has to do with weight stuff. Some of it has to do maybe with diabetes. If someone starts getting diabetes, some of it has to do with other things, acid reflux. And so, I try to not buy soda very often, or just, I know it can be a little bit addictive. I like to have, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going on to the next subject here. So there's more I can mention on the drink end, but I'm going to get into other stuff too. These companies, like these companies that make things, you have the whole vegan thing, and the fruit vegetable colors, and the colorful hemp clothing. I'm sorry vegans. I'm sorry hippies. I'm kind of going out. So you see these colorful wristbands, these colorful nets, and you have Jamaica jambalaya. You have the Jamaican colors, and they don't do meat, and it's kind of it's like, oh, they're so thin, and you want to be trendy, and you want to be healthy, you want to eat healthy tropical stuff, and a little party, right? And you have the hipsters up here in Seattle and stuff. They like to have all natural clothing that's very cruelty free, right? And, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. I like cruelty free. It's fine. Yeah. But then they have the whole kombucha and marijuana stuff, and then you have all the different types of interesting teas, and you have the different coffee brewed things, which I don't drink because I'm LDS. And you have Starbucks, and you have the trendy yuppie clothing, the designer clothing. These thin guys that they have some of them have some muscle, but some of them look like they're very, very lean, but maybe not very much muscle at all. For some reason, up here in Seattle, we have a lot of people that like to wear skinny pants. I don't know. These skinny guys, mostly skinny guys. I'm not saying they're gay. I'm just saying it's fine too. I'm just saying we have a lot of people up here that like to look really skinny, and they like to wear really skinny clothes. And that's just anyway. So all right, and so we see all that, and some of that's just cultural thing up here Northwest. A lot of left leaning folks and whatever. Yeah, computer programmers, and I have a lot of friends that are computer programmers, and it's all fine and good. But you have in Whole Foods and in specialty health stores like in Pike Place, and you see again these bright colors, and like with the what is it called, the paleo diet, right? The paleo diet, which some people said I kind of do a semi-paleo diet thing sometimes, and to some extent, to a small extent, this colorful, trendy thing, you see that to a certain extent in Whole Foods with the nutritarianism, but nutritarianism is really kind of more of a common sense scientific thing. So I don't think nutritarianism is what I'm talking about here. I think the color that you see from nutritarianism is really just from Whole Foods, and it's for real. It's the real thing, right? They don't do anything dudded up, right? The manufacturers can't get in on this because we're talking really just about Dr. Furman and just eating real food, right? Like real fruits, real vegetables, and juicing, right? You take real vegetables, real fruits, and you make your own juice. That's a different thing. Which, as much as I hate vegetable juice, I have to say this: I'm not talking about this in this video. Okay, that area is safe, right? Okay. So if it's Whole Foods and it's a safe, I'm going after. What am I going after again? Going after the manufacturers, the advertisements, the American culture, in a way, glorification of the tropics, but but we like that. It's a good thing. It's a good way to know more about these different countries and tropics we don't hear as much about. And you go to Whole Foods and you can help out some folks in Africa that are making this stuff. And every little bit that we buy, Whole Foods sends to some countries or some places in Africa, and we love that feeling. And that's what we want to do. And believe me, we eat it up here in Washington. That's it's prime time. We can't, unless we go to Africa or we donate money. How else are we going to help these folks? Some places in Africa and stuff. But going past the juice and the vitamin water, and soda's less healthy, but they make it colorful and they try to make it look healthier with the colors, right? Going past this, and then you have getting to the paleo thing. I mentioned these nut bars, right? These nut bars are really healthy. Like if you see a granola bar, and it looks like, I see the pumpkin seeds, I see the sunflower seeds, I see the peanuts, but yeah, almonds, and I see the cashews, or I see what's I don't know, something else in there, but pecan. I maybe see some other types of seeds, sesame, so you just sprinkle it all over, and it's all glued together by this healthy substance. We don't know, I can't remember what it is exactly, but those kinds of bars, and they. That okay, this is like a Whole Food, right? We think, this is Whole Foods. Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know exactly what the substance is that glues them all together, but it has to be some kind of bar. Otherwise, we're having nut mix, right, or trail mix without the chocolate and the raisins, right? So, but it's colorful packaging. It's like the packaging is like, you're part of the club now, or this is the red bar, the blue bar. I don't know. I'm just saying these different colors kind of make you feel like you're in a. There's an appeal that has something to do with color, but it's an appeal that has something to do with health. And like, maybe this goes back to when I was going to the YMCA with my mom and my brother, and we, whenever you do anything that's athletic or other things that have anything to do with color, right? Sometimes you have colors for different levels, right? I love this this is the way I think. This is the way I naturally think. I think about this stuff all the time. Having mild Asperger's syndrome, I just think about this stuff all the time. So you have the blue bar, the white bar, the red bar. Red bar is like makes you extra energy, and green bar for peace, and maybe you want to have the healthiest bar. Maybe the purple bar has more flavor, fruit flavors. I don't know. The blue one is good for your mind or something. So you have red for the energy, blue for your mind, green for being very peaceful, and purple for imagination, and yellow for more different kinds of energy. You can keep going, right? There's all these kind of connections we make between color and other things. We all do it. I think it's great. I think, gosh, advertisers, I understand what they're doing, and I'm totally for it. You guys are just fine. If it's Whole Foods, I think it's great. I get it, right? I get that, there's kind of, it's kind of a, the advertisers understand, these advertisers understand how we think. That's the whole thing about advertising and marketing. You can't really blame marketers. That's a job. They're trying to sell the profit. They're trying to make money. They're trying to, it's competitive, and trying to beat the other nutrition bars by how flashy the package is, and maybe you might put something in there that's extra healthy. You may find some exotic berry in some place that's really healthy. It's the new food craze, right? So you can get into the acai, you can get into the goji berry a while back, and the noni fruit, and you get into the, I don't know. There's a whole list of things that are trendy that probably most of them are really good for you. A few of them not as good for you. Some of them have side effects. Some we learn about these things. But these people, food manufacturers, want to make money. That's what they're at. Make money, right? And so I'm talking about these nut bars and nut bars. Nut bar. Insane. Okay, insane. And we can keep going with this. You see like the color. Okay, and again, George Carlin jokes about this. You see all the different colored ribbons and all the different colored things that people have on that show, we're supporting this cause, right? It's a pink one, and a green red one, and a purple one. George Carlin jokes that, what mine is? Brown. It stands for, he's kind of, nasty stuff. So he's just saying it's really stupid. Lee Hartman has had a lot of jokes toward the liberal left, as well as, sometimes he gets at the conservative right a little bit with some things, but he kind of just likes to poke fun a little bit at the American culture, American pop culture, when it is, in so many American things, and then one of them being, well, essentially it's vanity. What is it? It's vanity, right? Now, I'm talking about food a lot. I just jumped over to things like T-shirts and different colored things that you put on to show that you're supporting something. Or trendy shirts that are, kind of associated maybe with these colorful things that are associated with health and nutrition, or something having to do with the holistic health or well-being, or, going on this area. Scented, I know, well, and there's some things I won't get into right in this point. There's certain subjects I won't get into so much in this area. And I think, again, are outside of this arena. Instantly, when it comes to things like scented oils and more the what is it called, like doTERRA and things, that's a little bit different subject than we're talking about. It might be a little bit of crossover. I think some people might think, but no, I think this is, when it comes to things, it's related, right? It's the colors that go into all these handmade soaps and shampoos and candles and scented things. Sometimes I think it's vanity. Sometimes I think that there's definitely some advertising going on. Other times, not really so much. Because what doTERRA, for instance, is they make essential oils, right? You put them in a little burnt thing, and it kind of it's a water thing, and I've had it before, I used it before. It's kind of it's not really dudded up. You know, I don't see this. It's not. It's just a little different. I'm sorry, that's the best way of putting it. It's a little. It can be related to all this crazy the trends and things, but I see that subject as being a little different. Candles are kind of maybe also related, but maybe the candle thing is it can go a lot of different directions into that whole paranormal thing, burning stuff and different colors are different. And you know the pagan looking things, different colors of candles. I understand that's also a little different, although these things sometimes relate to each other a little bit. What I'm getting at here is the connection again between color, manufactured foods, anything that involves any kind of manufacture, and then this idea of tastiness, right, and nutrition, and also maybe how it applies. You know, you can probably get into the budgeting thing, putting these things in, trying to fit these things in. So for me, again, I'm very attracted to color when I go shopping. I have to keep that in mind because, you know, as much as I love sweet things and I love bright colors, oh yeah, and I think, oh, I don't buy the thing for the bright color, but yes, I kind of do. That dragon fruit juice, you know, it's calling your name. When you walk into a grocery store, you see that vitamin water, the dragon fruit, or if it's red or if it's whatever other color you see. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you see that unique color, right? That magenta or whatever it is, and you're like, oh man, that's healthy, right? Because it's a different color. I'm talking about this. This is the way I think. That's the way a lot of people, you guys also think. We gotta have that new thing, right? We gotta try it out. And sometimes, sure, you can try it out, especially if it's less expensive. I'm gonna kind of. I have never had kombucha. I can't have kombucha because of my religious beliefs. I can't, you know, I just can't. It's alcohol anti. But the thing is that I know that some of this applies to these colorful kombucha drinks, right? You know, I see the color and I see the kombucha being kind of like, oh, you know, oh. It's like bubble tea. Bubble tea, I don't know. It's a lot of trendy things that are also Asian. Believe me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice to the East Asians. I'm going after the Americans here. I'm trying to be nice to Europeans and East Asians and things, and not go after their stuff. But yeah, I see the bright color. You know, Japanese, just like Americans, all right. And it's the marketing thing. It's the business thing. You want to have the color, right? So you see those bright colored drinks in Japan, certainly in South Korea. You're more likely to see those things in East Asia, certainly, than you are to see them in Afghanistan or just Kazakhstan or Central Africa. These places are a little bit more isolated from the first world or the more modern developed world, you know, where people actually just have real food. The funny thing is, you know, that's all these companies are doing. They're always saying, we're getting these ingredients from the farthest reaches of, you know, Andes Mountains and you know, this isolated, you know, reservoir in Peru, or, you know, the isolated jungles of the Amazon. From the isolated jungles of the Amazon comes the you know, the ringberry. It's shaped like a ring, but it's like a ring is like it's eternal and it's multicolored. It's a rainbow colored thing. And it's so wonderful. You have all these different seeds that taste differently, and it has like, extraordinary properties. And we have this deal with this tribe that we can read. You know, for the first, you know what I'm trying to say. And all these companies are trying to cash in on this exotic thing, right? It's exotic. It's the never had before thing, and that's the reason why these people are so healthy in this isolated area. Is they have this special fruit or this special thing that they have, and only you can have this for limited time. You know, the more I hear this, it's like, yeah, I mean, of course I want to live longer. Of course I want something that tastes awesome. Of course I want the purple and the dark purple berries and the magenta taste those different flavors. Of course, we all do. We all want this stuff. And it tastes good, and we hear about stevia, and it's like, you know, and it's like low cost, and like we can get a regular food, and we can feel more trendy a little bit without being arrogant, right? Without being you know, without feeling like we're being snobby, or without feeling worldly. We can get this stuff that's cheap, and we can just go shopping. We can go home. We can try it out. Like, yeah, and, and we don't feel like schmucks, right? Okay, that's the whole idea, right? We don't want to feel like schmucks. Well, where am I going with all this? I know I'm going on about a half hour here. So basically, um, I think, gosh, and this is something again, it's been in the back of my mind for a long, long time, and I love. I hear the advertisements. I probably know what happens. We're all bombarded. See, this is about people don't understand about Americans. There's a lot of things that the rest of the world they don't understand about Americans. I wish they did, because maybe they'd be a little bit nicer to us sometimes and more understanding. There's a lot of countries that don't have TV, but they do have TV. At some point, I don't know how they handle things in different countries, but when you have advertisements and you see those advertisements over and over again, you kind of gets into your subconscious and you start thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't tried this yet. I really do want to try it. It sounds like it tastes really good. I've got to have the new pineapple soda, and I've actually had to. I've actually put a video on a pineapple soda. It was good. It was very sweet. There's a lot of sugar, right? But we do this, and Americans are bombarded with advertisements. You think that the British or Germans or French have advertisements? Well, my gosh, we have advertisements. We have all kinds of advertisements. But it's only for people who watch TV. That's why so many of us don't want to watch TV. My landlord watches TV all the time. I don't. I want to see YouTube. But on YouTube, they have advertisements. So the advertisements are everywhere, and Mexico, I'm sure they do have advertisements as well. It's just but in the United States, and it's the nature of the advertisements. Just like in Japan, and the United States, the Japanese kind of follow suit with the Americans, and the Japanese also love bright colors too. That's also kind of a cultural thing, and along with the Chinese love red, and there's different. There's a different color philosophy I know in East Asia depending on the country. I know white's viewed a little differently, but red is like yellow's probably a very appetizing color as well. So there's a lot of red and yellow in Asia, and in the United States, I think it's just awesome. I know I'm going on some tangents here. When we go to a food court that has a lot of has some Asian restaurants in there, when we love that variety, we see that red and yellow, and we're just like, yeah, red hot pepper or red fish, and the yellow fatty tuna, yellowfin tuna, and yellow also is like the small little corn things you have, the little corn you have stir fry, and we see these very charming. We see these colors that we come to expect from. Well, let's just say. We understand to be Asian, but maybe sometimes there's a little bit of an Asian American kind of thing going on too with some foods. But we see these things, and we come to expect these things, and it's a part of our mindset of maybe say Asia in this case. But it's the same thing with American food, American drinks that are manufactured. We're trained from a young age. We see that I don't know. We're going. Just going to start out with a shopping trip, right? And I'm going to try to get through this as best I can. We start out when we're young. We go with our mom. Go on a shopping trip. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to stick just with what we need. We have a budget. We're going to stick to it. We're going to have advice with the whole family, whatever it is. So you get your milk, you get your eggs, you get your butter, right? You get your laundry detergent or whatever. You get all your basics. You get toothbrush, toothpaste. You get all the stuff that you need. You go get some vegetables. You get some lettuce and some celery and some carrots. Cucumber, right? You get your cereal, milk. I mentioned milk. You get your chicken for the family, right? You got to be economical with protein, right? So you maybe get some soup, maybe get some, and all these moms. I know this is like something that they're all. It's a big train of thought, right? It's because you got to. Sometimes it's a matter of budgeting. It's a matter of nutrition. It's a matter of taste. It's all these things. And I've put out some other. I think I've had some other videos that touch on these things that hopefully help moms, but also just single people in general, single guys in general, anybody who needs to go shopping, right? So there's all that kind of thing that goes on, and so we have only so much money we know we have an idea, we have a general idea. Oh man, if I'm going to go shopping for the entire week or for 2 weeks, oh wow, I'm going to need to have some chicken. That's protein, and it has or eggs. Gosh, eggs and chicken. Gosh, and unless someone has an allergy to eggs or they don't like the taste of chicken. Oh gosh, chicken and eggs are just like they're almost as basic as bread. I didn't mention bread. Bread and butter, and I know jam and jam is a big deal in England, and that's what I've heard. And some other things I know, but some things I've heard recently, but some things I know about more historically. But So we could probably go also, fill out our basic shopping list of milk, eggs, butter, lettuce, carrots, celery, chicken, um, milk maybe, and then oh yeah, apples and bananas and oranges, right, for fruit, and your cereal, and again all your non-foods that you need to get, and what else after that? Water purification if you need to get that stuff, right? I don't know if you have a filter on the sink, right? Or um, your canned stuff in your soups, right? Canned soup, or healthier, I don't know what kind of soup, bottle soup, your broths, and then cooking things like maybe you need to get some flour or something, and you make your own bread. Maybe make your own bread. And there's all these basic things a lot of Americans get. Maybe some tomatoes, potatoes as well, right? Some things are gonna we know we need to eat something that's filling, so that's why we get our potatoes and we get our chicken. It's a little expensive, but sometimes we'll spend a little bit on some beef, ground beef, right? Ground beef is nice because it's cheaper, and we'll get the pork sometimes, and we'll get the meat's really filling, and we get the cheese, right? I don't like cheese. I hate cheese. I realize cheese is kind of a filler food, and it goes well with meat and bread, right? We get all that stuff, right? And we get the ice cream. We know it's a nice filling, but we know it's a dessert, so we'll allow ourselves the ice cream, right? The yogurt, right? For especially a lot of women like yogurt. Not just women, but I know. And then so, or it's the milk substitutes that get a little more pricey sometimes. I know. And then we have a little bit left over for the chocolate, and then we have well, what else do we have after that? What's our window of budget? Sometimes it's not very much. Sometimes it's a little bit more. So we look at, if you have kids, moms, you look at fruit snacks. If they're healthy, you look at, Capri Suns, or you look at real juice, right? You want to get the real juice or whatever. Juicy juice, treetop, treetop, yeah. There's a whole bunch of them. I know this whole thought process here. So, and then we get down to this. Some of us get down this arena of, oh, you know what? I want to be the trendy one. I want to get something that's colorful. I want to get that thing that has that little green band that says I'm in the green club, or the red club, or the blue club, or the yellow club, or the orange club. I get extra electrolytes, or I get that little extra thing, right? Sometimes it's there's like this sparkling juices that have an incy bit of some kind of tea. I don't know. There's all of these things that manufacturers know how to do, slip things in just to make us buy the thing more. It's important to be aware of these things, as uncomfortable as it might be to confront our own subconscious thoughts about these things. We at least need to know when we're kind of being duped a little bit, or when we're kind of spending more money than maybe we should on some of these things. This is a train of thought. Because what do all these manufactured colorful things you can find in stores, and I also was kind of tying this also into other things that are maybe not as food related, but what do these things do for us? That's always the question to ask. It can be like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, I think, was one of the people that really did not pay attention to a sweet tooth at all. If he had a sweet tooth, he had tremendous discipline. I mean, if someone offered him some passion fruit, and he knew he had too much sugar for the day, I honestly think Bruce Lee he's the kind of guy who would have self-discipline to actually turn down the passion fruit. I'm probably mistaken. I might be mistaken. I probably would be, because I don't see how anybody can turn down passion fruit. Something like that. But if Bruce Lee had too much sugar that day, maybe later, And there's people like that, like they have to turn down. I'm like, oh man, geez, but what do these things do for us? What do they do for us? Vitamin water, it's great. It has chromium, has all these great things in it. Sure I'll buy it if it doesn't have any sugar. Of course. What are these natural colors? Okay, so there's some things that will allow ourselves to buy. We know it's going to be good for our bodies, or at least decent for our bodies. They're not going to have any bad things going on. Now, there's still things that, the Food and Drug Administration and other companies, scientific things. I know that the Food and Drug Administration is a little bit, maybe sometimes, they're kind of seen as a bad guy, and I understand that train of thought too. And it's not just a conspiracy theory thing, but I understand that there's different companies that are more honest and truthful with the American public about health. Others, organizations that are less so, and I have to get more into, But the thing is, yeah, I mean, look, if you got your blueberries, and you got your oranges and apples and bananas and your grapes, and you got your lettuce and your carrots and your celery and your cucumber and your spinach, frozen broccoli, frozen mixed vegetables, and you got your chicken and eggs and milk and butter, and if you do dairy, it's not as healthy, I know. And cheese and I'm going through the list. You got your shopping list, right? Yeah, soups and beans and all that stuff, and rice and bread and cereal and waffle mix. I don't know. If you got your list and you know what each of those things does for you, or you should, right? If you don't, you can always look these things up, and I have videos about this. These kinds of things. You got your basics. That you got your filling foods, you got your vitamins, you got your minerals, you got your enzyme pills or pre-enzymes or prebiotics and things. And you can take supplements, get your supplements, right? When it comes to things that have the bright colors that say that they're really healthy, okay, but oh man, I'm speaking to all Americans here, including myself. Let's just can't remember the foundation of health. Foundation of health. Again, it used to be grains. Now I think it's probably safe to say it's probably more like vegetables, even though we don't have, it's a calorie thing, right? Because vegetables are vegetables are nature's doctor, right? Vegetables heal the body, and if you get the more you give that stuff, all different colors of vegetables, the more you're going to have the doctor working on your insides 24/7, and you're going to be really healthy if you get enough sleep and you get a lot of exercise and you eat a lot of vegetables. It's going to show. If you eat avocado, I don't know, I know my skin is better off because I eat vegetables and avocado and fruit. There are people my age that are smokers, that not all smokers, but there are people that have much less healthy diets. And one of the side effects of that less healthy diet, especially if it's a very, very unhealthy diet with nothing colorful, is they get more wrinkles and their hair gets older quicker, and they just look older. They age faster. Sometimes it's hard to. I can't criticize that in a way. I mean, I'm just saying it's not so fun to go through that, but there are a lot of lifestyle things that play into being more unhealthy that way that I can't criticize, because maybe it's the steel worker who honestly is burning through so many calories that he eats a lot of meat, and he eats probably 5 times the amount of meat that I do, and everybody's smoking when he's smoking on the smoke breaks, and he has his milk and he has his dairy and his grains and his meat, and he just doesn't have time or the energy to go through the produce, and he thinks all trendy stuff is about fruit fry, which is probably good to think more or less, but if he's going to have any issues with food, it's probably going to be because of all the fat from animal foods he's eating, which I had that too. I have your bacon. I have bacon, sure. But again, the amount of it, he's probably burning more calories than I am. But he's probably having a lot of just sky high levels of fast food. Anybody who's busy, like I have fast food sometimes, but the more fast food you eat, and it's less healthy, it's deep fried. I'm not talking about the trendy stuff here. I'm just saying, I don't want to judge anybody, but produce, whole foods helps you with your complexion. It helps with everything in your body. Everything. It helps your mood. It helps your emotions. And with all this other stuff that looks colorful, that's packaged up and dandied up, right? We know in our heart of hearts, that's not whole food, right? You have to say to yourself when you go in the grocery store, you have to say, that old wallet, it looks really healthy. Maybe get one. We can allow ourselves one, maybe 2. Get the strawberry sea monster and the blueberry bee monster, right? But we know there's a lot of sugar in that stuff, and just don't forget that there's whole foods, right? And that we should be eating, especially all your fruits and vegetables. And then there's all the duddy-dup stuff, right? That's all colored up, and you're the number one, contributor to some frou-frou, liberal cause, not just liberal. You're going to save the rainforests, okay? You're going to single-handedly drink enough of whatever, some tropical fruit juice that you're going to save not only the Amazon, but you're going to save the Congo rainforest. You're going to save the rainforest of Papua New Guinea, and you're going to make sure that nobody, this one tribe that nobody knows about doesn't die out, right? Because this company is doing all they can to help this. I'm just saying, don't lose sight. You folks, me included, I'm going the same way. Let's not lose sight. Let's not lose sight of what it is our body needs that week. Let's not lose sight of what we like. Let's not lose sight of our budget. Let's not lose sight of. We need to try we should try new things. We should get a lot of variety, but let's not lose sight of the fact that all these manufactured foods, they're not real foods. And if they are manufactured, we want them to be as real as possible, right? And that's all I can say, in that respect. And when it comes to all these, natural clothing and these natural other things that are not food, that I touched on a little bit previously with the oils and the candles and the clothing and any soaps and all that stuff is great. And I'm much less critical of myself. I'm much less critical of those companies that make high quality stuff that don't try to be the trendy guys. Who I do go after are the people that, I have nothing against a lot of these folks. I don't. It's not something that makes me angry. So I think it's maybe, if anything, it's a bit more entertaining to see the extent to which some people get into all these fads and things, whether or not they're different kinds of people. I don't know, and I'm putting myself into sometimes disrespect. I like to be the fatty guys, the fad kind of guy, right? The trendy guy. I like to be the one to tell everybody sometimes about this new thing. To wear the headband that's really colorful and look really hip and cool, and hang out with the hipsters, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to come across always like, I don't want to feel like I'm Mr. I don't have any life about me when it comes to things like, all the things, the colorful things that you'll see here and there that, aren't always natural food. But, we just need to keep our head on our shoulders, right? We have to, some people have no problem with this. I think some people I might assume are part of this group I'm talking to aren't in this group, right? Not really, I'm talking to. Sometimes it's more just how duped we are by advertising. Whatever it is, we just have got to keep... we've got to not be duped by the advertisers. Can't let all the bright colors interfere with what we know is healthy. We need to eat. And when we buy fruits and vegetables, we need to make sure that we eat them in time, so not have so many of them that we can't eat them all in time. And we keep getting better at this. And last but not least, some guy, some woman comes up to you and says, "Hey, have you tried this today?" You want to be able to say, I'll give it a shot. How much is it? Okay, we've got to be polite, right? But sometimes it's okay to say, maybe later. And what you're trying to say, you're trying to be nice to them. You're saying, I have other thoughts, things I'm trying to do. No offense to you, that's trying to get into sample. How can you turn down a sample, right? We just got to be sensible about all this stuff. I need to be sensible. My body is not. I don't have tattoos. I don't want to. That's a different deal. I know. I don't do all the super jewelry thing. I'm not trying to pick on the guys that like to have 1,000 Buddha things in their home, whatever. That's all fine. All the different whatevers. Bracelets and everything. That's okay. That's very trendy, and I think that's really cool. The beads actually, I think is more artsy thing. So it's. I'm sorry, folks. Thanks for staying with me this long. But you see what I'm trying to say, I think. In America, we're saturated with fads, with trends, with advertising, and with things that, whoa. It's hard for us to just be sensible about things. It's hard for us to be disciplined with our money a lot of times. But just like a lot of these people, not something because I don't know, modern world keeps extending into all these different areas of the world. Just like a lot of people, not just in developing areas of the world, but there's a lot of people out there that are very frugal from both developed and developing nations. But for instance, you can think of the folks. There are certain places in Africa, not just Africa, but there are places where people literally just have rice and beans and water and maybe a few other things, and that's about it. We try to, and if they went into a grocery store, they'd probably be overwhelmed. They probably, and I'm sure that people from Africa, not just Africa, but a lot of other places in the world, can have a lot to say on the subject, and a lot of things that they would kind of be maybe a little bit, I don't know, critical of, but they'd say, whoa, it's very different life in the United States that we live. If I didn't have any electronics, if I grew up my own food, I'd probably have no regard at all for that person that had this new thing called blue tea or something, right? What is blue tea? Blueberries. And it sounds really healthy, right? Blueberries and green tea infused with some honey. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Okay, let me get back to what I'm doing here. Because if I don't do this in time, I'm going to, got to pick the weeds, right? All right. Hopefully this is getting through to you guys, even though I'm going on a lot of tangents here. Talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.